Yes, I am Joffey Joe, and this is the show, Call It How I See It. And on today's episode, I have a couple of things I want to talk to you all about. First and foremost, I'm here to talk basketball with my boy Glenn Pratt. But, as many of y'all know, the NBA is not around right now. So, we gotta talk about Olympic basketball because the summer games are about to start. And on the 28th of July, USA will be taking on Serbia. Yes, an interesting matchup that we all should be watching because it's USA, baby. Yeah. Mind you, everything else going on in the country, this is definitely an important time for us as Americans to rally around our country in a sporting event. Yes. Secondly, I'm here to talk baseball. Yes, it's summertime. The Phillies are still the best team in baseball, and I need to talk about them, and I need to share with y'all my opinions on what's going on since the All-Star break because we're going in a bit of a slide. Yes, so mind you all that, this is an episode you don't want to miss, so please tune in and enjoy the show. What up, G? Glad to have you back on. How you doing?
Yo, Joffey, you know I'm good, man. When I hear from Joffey, I'm always down to call it how I see it. Let's get it.
Let's get it, G. All right, so on today's menu, I did want to talk some basketball, and seeing how the NBA season still isn't around yet, we're going to talk some Olympic basketball as that's about to take way, as USA basketball has been a little bit of an interesting story so far, at least playing in their exhibition games heading into the Olympic Games going on in France, the Summer Games. I mean, we look at this roster right now. I mean, this would depict a 2024 A team for, USA basketball, like seeing how most of the perennial superstars are on the team right now, and seeing what they've put out there on the court so far has been a little bit of a head scratcher, maybe more than a little bit. They had one good game against Serbia, and they looked pretty good against Canada, but against South Sudan, almost having that hiccup there. Even this Germany game was a little tight. Germany does, of late, since they won the FIBA Cup, they've been a pretty formidable basketball team as they still have pretty much the same core as their FIBA Cup team running out there. However, they won't be in our group. The group that we are in is Group C for the Olympics. We are looking at playing Serbia on the 28th, along with playing another rematch against South Sudan, who's only been a country for 13 years, but, shout out to them. Luol Deng doing big things, Royal Ivy coaching the team. Yeah, they're doing big things over there, so that program's on the rise. And then they got Puerto Rico, who, like we were just, chatting about a little bit, has the longest odds next to Japan winning this whole tournament. So, should be interesting. What do you think of some of the stuff you've seen so far, Jay?
Right now, I think we're just trying to find our chemistry. I mean, talking about the USA team. We're trying to, you get a collection of stars like this, you think you can just roll the ball out, put five guys out there, and they're just all going to come together. Still think it needs a little meshing. And I think when it comes down to it, when it's for real, I really think they're going to step it up. A lot of people were questioning whether they got the goods to get it done. I really think when it comes down to it, they'll get it done. I really do. It's just a chemistry thing. Let them play together for it. They'll be ready.
I think so too. So I mean, we've had historic Olympic teams, right? We've had the Dream Team, we've had the Redeem Team. I'm calling this one, G. I'm calling this one the Scheme Team because I don't know what they're scheming up here, bro. I'm trying to find out their agenda. I'm trying to feel them out, given everything was still, nothing has been played yet, so all exhibition so far. So it's things to take in consideration, but I'm going to label them the Scheme Team until I figure out what they're scheming on. So, I mean, one thing we do know for sure is that LeBron James is still basically LeBron James. I mean, at age 40 years old right now, I mean, my man is balling. He's showing the world on a big platform right now that, especially in the clutch right now, he's had 2 game winners basically. And even playing down low and getting the ball near the rim and just playing bully ball, man, against other guys, just, asserting his domination and his presence on the court when it really matters is really huge, especially at the age of 40 when other guys like his buddies Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade are out there just talking about him on podcasts. It's pretty crazy to see where LeBron is. It's really crazy.
Physical specimen. It's hard to really put into words what he's doing because basketball is such a taxing sport. It's one thing to be a quarterback and to play in your late 30s and early 40s. To me, you're protected by the rules of the game more in football, and your athleticism doesn't have to be to the level at which you would have to be a basketball player. I mean, don't get me wrong, you still got to be an athlete. I mean, Tom Brady was who he was at 40-something. Let's don't act like he was a wide receiver. Let's don't act like he was, a running back at 40. So he was a quarterback. When you're a quarterback, you get a little protection back there, and your career can go a little longer. What LeBron is doing up front,
insane,
leading this team the way he is, it's really something. I mean, I'm speechless, really. I mean, he's had no major injuries, which have made him able to. He's had knick-knack here and there,
right?
But nothing major. And as long as he gets nothing major, I mean, when's he going to slow down? I mean, they say Father Time's undefeated, but LeBron's putting up a heck of a fight. You know what I mean?
Amen to that, dude. He really is. Especially, like I was saying, like how this group right now is like basically a younger group of guys like me. Like they still have some vets that are still up there, like Durant and Steph, but like they ain't where LeBron is in terms of longevity and career and everything. And those guys have broken down in terms of their career, like you're saying. Like him, he's been available and consistent, and the consistency is what's paying off now. And then we're really seeing that come to light right now, which is really, really incredible, honestly. And like I don't. The whole Jordan LeBron debate, but like LeBron in terms of like the longevity and career and everything, he's really pushing past Jordan in that aspect, and just to see where he is really crazy. He's like proving that he can be Captain America out here, honestly, and then even given the task to carry the torch for the USA and everything coming up, it's really means a lot. This Olympics means a lot to him. I definitely see it on the court. He's definitely trying playing defense. Like you're seeing Braun really be Braun out here, and it's really cool to see. And it's like, and the most like you're saying, like the consistency and longevity, but like that's what I'm trying to like soak in like right now is great basketball is being played by him, even like on an international scale. Like he's playing the game with other countries and international players, and playing it differently than what they were playing a little bit differently in the NBA. So in terms of schematics and everything, like Braun is just cerebral out there, and even Durant's giving him his flowers, Curry's giving him his flowers. So it's really cool to see. It's almost like a farewell tour to see LeBron, at least in this aspect in international competition, which is really crazy.
Well, greatness recognizes greatness. They see what's going on out here. I mean, you know what? Durant's dealing with a little calf issue.
Right.
So, I mean, there's the difference. I mean, LeBron, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to get those injuries that keep him out of for long periods of time. Like I said, nothing really major.
No,
so for him to be playing at this level, leading this team, he's got the universal respect of the whole Olympic organization with him. I mean, that's why he's out there. I mean,
I agree.
He's a fixture, man. It's insane.
He's insane. He is one of a kind. No doubt about it.
Seriously, it's hard to argue. Man.
So something else I want to bring to light in terms of what I've seen so far in just the exhibition games, obviously, but their lack of defense. I don't know if it's a lot of open opportunity, not the spacing being wrong. Also, like you said in the beginning of this take, them taking time to adjust and mesh together. Maybe that's like the most bothersome thing about this that I've seen so far with the performances is just like I'm waiting to see their potential come out. Like I'm waiting to see this team really come out. It flashed a little bit against Serbia when they were able to play big against Jokic, putting Bam and Anthony Davis, clogging up Jokic's lanes and stuff, which worked great. I have to give Steve Kerr credit there. But like some of this other stuff has me scratching their head where I'm seeing Jason Tatum having a hard time, trying to reach out an assignment, or Anthony Edwards getting beat on the ball, or I'm trying to figure out what schematically, Steve Kerr, who I'm bringing to light here, is like really showing so far with trying to coach this team moving forward. Like, do you see anything like popping out that might scratch your head a little bit on this one?
Well, I mean, the defense. I mean, for them to be a 40-something favorite to Sudan and then give up 100+ points is it's unacceptable.
Yeah,
on any level, it's unacceptable. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess when it comes to defense, that is the side of the ball that teams, or even when it comes to the All-Star games, I mean, that's just the side that you olay. You know what I mean? It's just the effort isn't there the same. So
I agree.
I'm thinking though, when it's time, I'm thinking they're going to step that up too. I think when it'll all come together. It's going to take. Would they have another week or so? When's the first game you said?
The 28th. So they will be playing, I believe, on Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. Right. So I mean, I expect a lot better defensive effort. I really like them to roll, to be honest with you. I know the other teams are better. NBA players are all over the world.
Yeah.
But I'm still think when it's time, this team will take it to the next level. Who's your starting five? Who do you feel it should be the five?
It's been interesting because I know last matchup they played the three guards. They threw Drew Holiday out there. If I am Steve Kerr and I had that option, in terms of like the way the team is set up, I mean the safe bets would be to have Joel at the 5, LeBron, Durant when he's available. He hasn't been there yet. And then having Booker, I would say Booker and then Curry. I think those two mesh pretty well, just because they're like open shooters, catch and shoot. I think that type of style helps, but also having Anthony Edwards out there, his athleticism out there helps. There's just like the team is broken down so well. It is like the roster's like great. It's like it's no doubt, and I'm just waiting for this team to come out and have the fireworks and USA everything.
Fireworks are coming, baby. Believe.
I know. I'm being patient. And like we said, this is all just exhibition anyway. But if I was to put those 5 out there, with a healthy Durant, that's what I'm looking at. Like I would think that team, at least that starting 5, would have the best chance to get us ahead against any other international team.
I'm ready to turn the page on Durant, man. Put Anthony Edwards out there.
Yeah, yeah. I think Anthony Edwards and a lot of people would agree with that too.
I like Durant. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
because of the calf, let's
Availability.
sit down, Kevin.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, seriously. I mean, Anthony's ready to rock. It's his time. You know what I
It
mean?
is.
So I'm thinking, I liked your five, and I would throw Anthony Edwards in there instead of Durant.
Right, and that's no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh, that's what's up. I was done.
Okay, I was gonna say, but no, Anthony Edwards, man, he is, he's that guy. He really is, and he's done some explosive things already. In the series, I mean, in just the exhibition series so far. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he does moving forward. Like the whole Joel Embiid factor here, like given like we had Kawhi on the team earlier, and then he backed out because of load management issues. I do have to give Joel some credit for being out there trying to play for the team and everything. At first, it kind of seemed like it was kind of a disaster, and seeing how like Anthony Davis or even like Bam Adebayo were having more success. But the last two games he has showed up. He has been playing very well. He had a big block last game, and he's really trying to put himself out there. I just worry about his injury history. Just like one little slip, one little squeak on the court with the shoe, and then so I don't want to see that. So that's the only thing I worry about.
Someone doesn't break his face or jump or land on his knee. I mean, he's had some injuries that were like, wow.
Yeah, right under the rim type of stuff. Getting like looking at the ball, rebounding, or I was actually looking at some of the stuff that's happening to him, like in terms of dirty plays, getting shoved or just getting kicked, or I mean, that's the only worried part about him. But given anytime he steps on the court, that's always that's always in the realm of possibilities with him. So
no doubt. That's just sports.
That is just sports, and that's just where he is in his career. So I mean, given everything. But overall, I think we tagged most of these things up. I am going to be watching Steve Kerr closely. I mean, like you have Ty Lue, you have Eric Spoelstra, you have Mark Few. I don't know, he's there for some reason.
Got a lot of people in his ears.
Yeah.
I mean,
at the end of the day, though,
all be able to put those great minds together. They should be able to come up with what they need to get done.
I agree, because it's for America. It's for America.
You know what I mean?
America needs to come through. Yes, I agree. But I mean, at the end of the day, what we saw was just exhibition, and like I said, and I love your optimism here, and I hope it shines too, because I want to see this team pop out. I mean, this is the team we've been waiting for to see. Like, this isn't the FIBA Cup team that comes in fourth place and can't beat Canada. You know what I mean? Like, this is the team we've been waiting to see. And then, like I said, this is the last time we're gonna see Bron. It might be the last time we see Durant, even Curry too. So like, it's a lot to soak in, and I want to see this team shine and do well, and get the gold, man. Get it for USA, baby.
Oh, no doubt. The page will be turned. That's why it even makes it Anthony Edwards getting this exposure and this experience.
Right.
So I think he's going to be the key card going forward. He's
right.
going to be one of the key cards going forward.
It's going to be a big passing of the torch to him, players like himself. So, but he's definitely had a big impact on everything, this team, and then moving forward. He is that guy. So
he is. I agree.
So, G, overall, I'm glad to have you on. I'm glad we were able to do this.
Oh, man, it's always a pleasure to call it how I see it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, G. You enjoy the rest of your day. All right, my man.
Do your thing. Have a good day, Joe. I'll talk to you now.
All right, peace. So, here we are. I did want to talk some more baseball. Yes, that's right. It is summertime. I have to talk baseball. Unfortunately, the Phillies suffered another defeat and another series loss to the hands of the Minnesota Twins. Yes. Another game today that the Phillies should have won, but was not able to pull through due to another bullpen meltdown. This time at the hands of Gregory Soto, not Jose Alvarado, and also not Matt Strom or Jeff Hoffman. But, yes, our man Gregory Soto gave up some runs in the ninth inning, and it did not look good. The bullpen is a big head-scratching question. Looking at it from the pitching perspective of everybody on the Phillies right now, yes, the starting pitching has been lights out for the most part. I mean, I don't know what else more you could ask a bunch of guys to do, honestly. They've collectively as a group have been very stoic in their approach of how they've been throwing things off the mound, but everything has been, for the most part, very well. Yes, there has been some hiccups, and no, you don't have every game work in your favor. However, I am absolutely in love with how the starting pitching has been. It definitely deserves its flowers. However, our issues in the bullpen have been very alarming, especially of late. I know it is 2 series now after the All-Star break, and there's still a lot of season left to go. August baseball is very important, though. And given that we do have a 9.5 point lead over the Atlanta Braves, who seem to keep losing people left and right, I just don't want to see a collapse of catastrophic levels happen with this Phillies team. I don't. I know overall, running this team back, though, I don't think it's going to be good enough to win the World Series. I do think some pieces needed to be added here, whether it is Mason Miller and we trade prospects such as Justin Crawford or Aiden Miller or even possibly Andrew Painter, who I don't know when is coming back. But I do think something needs to be added. There's also been talks of us picking up the reliever Turner from the Marlins, who seems serviceable, but maybe not enough to bolster our bullpen and secure it in terms of being consistent in the future, especially trying to going on a playoff run with the guys that we have now. Orion Kirkering, I feel, may still not be ready for the big leagues yet. Question's still out. I know he's had some bad outings the last couple games. It's a shame because he does have good stuff, and his command seems to be off here and there. I think Jose Alvarado is also having similar issues with his command and losing focus in the moment. It seems like blowing hot air and trying to get himself together and composed, brushing off the catcher, things like that. It's definitely been taken under a magnifying glass just to see how his reactions are in terms of trying to close out games and handle out certain situations that Jose Alvarado was put in. So, yes. Do we need another bat? That's a good question. I would like to say we do. I mean, you can't have enough bats, especially with the way we've been streaking. It seems a lot of bad has come from this series with the Twins. They were definitely in a funk, especially since Game 1. There wasn't any hits since the second inning. I don't believe the Twins pitching is that high or elite for us not to take over a game like that. Yes, given today on the 24th, we were able to hit the ball and get some more runs earlier in the game, but later on in the game, we still fall flat, and that has been an issue with our team, even the past couple years. It's just been streaky. It's, especially with runners in scoring position, the Phillies have struggled at times, not all the time, but at times. Given last night, Nick Castellanos with runners in scoring position was able to capitalize and win the game. But in today's notion of the game, they should have been able to do more later on in the innings instead of just jumping out and getting a lead. You do need to consistently put up more runs and give bigger cushions to help your pitching out. Because given our bullpen and everything, it's not been a sure bet. It hasn't been. Our bullpen has been very shaky, and it does make me bite my nails and shake my leg a little bit when they are out there. So, given, every situation that is thrown at them. But, mind you, the Phillies still have the best record in baseball. So, it's interesting to see what Dave Dombrowski, president of operations of the Phillies, is going to do in this trade deadline. Some potential targets. I just read today they are interested in Tigers pitcher Flaherty, or even possibly in the process of getting Crochet from the White Sox, who is leading Major League Baseball in strikeouts. And yes, it will be a pretty penny to get him. Might cost 2 prospects to do it, but given the window of time and everything, and having an owner that is willing to sacrifice the willing luxury tax money to have results happen right away, Dave Dombrowski really has a short window of time to get this done. And if it includes getting rid of prospects, it might have to happen that way, honestly. And I mean, mind you, too, you also have cornerstone players on your team for years to come. So maybe giving up prospects won't be the hardest thing to do, honestly. Especially since you have Trey Turner secure, you have Bryce Harper secure, you still have other players on the roster that are under contract. So it's going to be interesting to see what cards are dealt here and what cards and how certain hands are played here. So I do believe the Phillies do need to make a new acquisition to this team, especially in the bullpen. Starting pitching, for the most part, I think we can handle. I mean, especially if we're going in a 7-game series, I like our 4 guys, personally, and that's really what you need, as long as you have your 4. They all were battle-tested last year, yes, and I like our 4 starting pitchers going forward, so I don't think getting an extra starting pitcher would be the most ideal move right now. They need to focus more on the bullpen, bolstering the bullpen, and securing the back end of who's going out there to finish out the games. I mean, it's a good thing to start the game, but you need to finish out these games, and that seems to be such an issue with the Phillies bullpen of late. So it's going to be interesting to see what Dombrowski does. I After watching us play the series with the A's before the All-Star break, I was pretty impressed with Rucker. He has been mashing the ball behind Trey Turner. He's mashing the ball at alarming rates of hitting home runs out of the park, and I wouldn't mind a player like that. But apparently, that from what I was reading, according to a couple of sources, might not be the best locker room guy in terms of what they have going on. I don't know what that's about, but that's just reports I've been reading. There might not be any substance to that, so maybe that's why the Phillies are shying away from a player like Rucker. Also, there is Luis Roberts, and also on the Chicago White Sox that's available, playing center field. But it's interesting to see. I don't think he has the production matter in terms of what Rucker does, but it might be an option that the Phillies want to ignore as well, because I actually think Johan Rojas has been playing very great in center field. I mean, given, yes, his bat isn't maybe to the level of these other two possible options at center field, but his defensive prowess has been immaculate, honestly. I really enjoy watching him make defensive plays, and I know our pitchers definitely appreciate when he's out there because they feel more secure with a player like that that's able to cover so much ground and make plays in the center field, whether going over the fence or making dives or just running out to get the ball with everything you can. It's almost very inspiring. So I do like Johan Rojas. I don't think we need another outfielder per se, but like I said, you can never have enough hitting. So we'll see what Dombrowski does in that section. But in terms of everything else, I mean, we are still the best team in baseball. But like I said, it's gonna be an interesting test seeing how they play against the Guardians. The Guardians are the second best team in baseball, and after that, playing the Yankees, it's gonna be an interesting test. Who knows? Maybe this could be a World Series preview with the Indians, with the Guardians. You see, I slipped up. With the Guardians, or even possibly with the Yankees. So it's interesting to see how things will match up with the Phillies and these other teams. The Phillies right now are at a level where other teams are trying to catch up to them, and a lot of teams want to, bring their best. It's almost like the Phillies do have a target on their back now since they have the best record in baseball. So it's important for them to come correct and come ready to play when these teams start to show up. So it's going to be interesting to see. I still believe in Rob Thompson. I'm never going to give up on that guy. But it's going to be interesting to see how he does certain things and how he maneuvers through certain situations, especially with the bullpen issues that he's been having. So it's been under the microscope ever since he's been here, especially with some of the decisions that he made last year in the postseason. But I do think they need help, and I don't believe if they run everything through without making an acquisition, they will be able to win the World Series. I hate to say that. Maybe I'm wrong. Please prove me wrong. If that does happen that way, just prove me wrong. I don't want to say that. But I just know watching, I do think that, yes, they can get to this certain level, but when they get to this certain level, I just don't want to see him hit the wall. Because if they hit the wall, they're going to hit it hard, and then this is going to be all for what? You know what I mean? So I hate to see this season that started off so promising end out and turn out in that type of fashion. Hopefully I'm wrong. Let's not say that. Knock on wood. So that's all I have to say. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks.